Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Gemini, my friends, I'm going to figure out what you're hiding. Let me see what you're hiding. These have been really interesting. Yeah. I'm really curious about how this is going to go with you guys, Gemini. Because when I did the mask you hide behind, it was like you didn't even have a mask. So, I don't know, maybe you're not hiding anything. We'll see. I think whatever we get here is still going to be something that's kind of, interesting and profound and something that we can all reflect on and go, wow, humanity is fascinating. So that's what we're going to do. It is very similar to the mask that you hide behind, but the questions I ask are slightly different, and I'm using different cards. So we get different answers because we're asking different questions. You have the, jeez. You have the Messiah at the bottom. So that's really interesting because you guys have had like some of the deepest spiritual readings lately, Gemini. They've been so profound. So here we go. I mean, it's not necessarily your card, but it's the underline after the pre-shuffle. I'm going to be using my archetype deck. I'm going to be using my Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And you have the Sun in Scorpio, Endurance at the bottom. And then I'm going to use this teeny tiny Rider-Waite deck. That's what I got for this. So let's get started. Jum. It's a general reading. So, it may or may not resonate. If it does and you're drawn to it, there is an extended, and the link to that is at the top of the description within this video. All right. So I got the Messiah on the bottom. Okay, so we are going to look at like who you really actually are, what you're not hiding from the world. And then we're going to see what something you're either hiding or you're hiding behind. And then we'll see how this affects different parts of your life and outcomes. So who you really want to say who you are here. You're a servant. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Jeez, guys. Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. You are. So you are, now it's okay. These words can be funny because a servant too, like when I just hear the servant, I do picture somebody who's doing good things for other people all the time and not necessarily doing anything for themselves. It could be a career. You could actually work in the service sector somehow. You could. It could be a big part of who you are, and you do get fulfillment out of that. You like doing things with your job that providing some sort of service for people, and you see that they really benefit from them. And it makes you feel like really feel great. I'm able to do this for people. Now, but I kind of deviated from what I was going to say because I think of a servant and I think of people that are sort of like put in the lower class of society and expected to give things to people who are higher class than them, which I don't really like classes or caste systems. So the word servant, each one of these has a light and a shadow. Let's see the shadow. Using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Wow. See, that's interesting because that's how I would see like sort of the traditional idea of a servant. Someone who I need this money, so I have to serve the Lord of the Manor or whatever it is, it kind of reminds me a bit of when I watched that series Downton Abbey, and like it was a life. People lived there, and I think they worked every day unless they happened to get a day off one month, and then they would go into town and have fun. It's a full-time thing, so it could be like being a servant is a very full-time thing. You're kind of on all the time. If this is light, though, you delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. I think that's really healthy, especially if you've created proper boundaries in your life and you're not doing this for people that don't really appreciate you, or they have high expectations of what you bring to them and what you should be bringing to them. So we're going to look at what is it you're hiding behind, or you're hiding. Okay, what you're hiding behind, or what you're hiding, is God. Benevolence and compassion. Recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. Man, these are really, again, I'm not surprised. The cards you guys have been pulling out lately, it's almost like, I can even just put these together like a word, like a servant to God. Like, you are serving others, and kind of, it's almost like you're in the shadow of God. If you're going to be in the shadow of anything, God is probably the one thing that's okay to be in the shadow of it. You really never want to be in the shadow of another person, because you always kind of feel like you might be serving someone else's needs above your own all the time, or maybe somebody's using your skills or abilities to propel themselves forward, and you're just kind of always in the background, not reaching your higher good or your achievements. But my gosh, if you were ever going to hide behind anything, God is the one behind. And it's just here like a servant of God. So if you were going to stand in the shadow of anyone, it would be God. It would be the universe. It would be source. Huh. Hold on. Okay, so why do you hide this? Why do you hide that you're hiding God? You're almost like you're tapping into the essence of God. And you're kind of hiding that, though. Just out of curiosity, athlete, why you hide your true self. This is, okay, I have to say, I don't remember whose website I read it on. It was years and years ago, long before I was even doing this on this channel. There was, I think it was a lady. She was a psychic, intuitive, and she did regressive, what do you call that? Like regressive hypnosis on past lives. And she was talking about a woman that she did a regressive hypnosis with. And the woman currently worked in like just a small diner somewhere in the US, worked in a small diner. And, you know, like really kind of not seen by many people, not recognized by many people as leading a profound life, or leading a life in the spotlight, or, but yet she had interaction, physical, face-to-face, verbal interaction every day. And maybe unless the day or two that she took off, like someone like that working in a diner as a waitress, they're probably working 5 to 6 days a week at least. And she found that, like in the lifetime she was living right now, that people naturally always just opened up about their problems. They would sit down for breakfast or lunch or dinner or whatever it was, and they would just naturally open up to her about what was going on in their life and what was happening. And she said, I always found it easy to find a solution for them, or to give them some sort of peace or comfort about what was going on for them. And she really, she enjoyed her job so much, you know. And a lot of people, I look at people who work in professions like that, and I've seen a lot of the behind scenes from past careers, and it is very hard work. It is extremely hard work, and often not appreciated by a lot of people. People come in hungry, so when people are hungry, they're kind of moody, they're grumpy, they want their food now, and that person has no control over how fast they get their food. Like, that's up to the cook. So, but yet she loved what she did. And when she did the regression, it was pulled out that she was actually a very, very high, very old soul that had lived many lives on many different planets in many different places. Like, the details that came out were really astounding to this this psychic who did these regressions. And what was really interesting was, it was this person who was living a very humble life, you know, not making a lot of money, but making quite an impact on every single person that came in, that kind of had an experience with her. And that's just, this is a bit of the energy that I'm getting here, Gemini. It's just, it's kind of popping in like a channeled message, like remembering that. I'm telling you, this is probably six or 7 years ago. I remember reading this, and I haven't thought about it until now. This story of this woman in this small diner in a tiny little, like, almost, I would call it like a no place. It was between towns even. It wasn't much, but there she was, and having this impact. and the shadow, being in God, doing God's work is kind of what this feels like. That, I mean, look at what, she's literally bringing something to somebody. It doesn't have to be that that's what you're doing, that you're working in a diner or you're, but I just feel like you naturally help people somehow. And you're doing this from a very compassionate and benevolent place within. Okay, so why? Now I'm gonna split and just pull everything out. I'm gonna split out of here. No, I'm gonna split the deck. Okay, so why do you hide your true self? Whoa, destroyer. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Wow, my. Getting a double messaging with that. Getting the message, the first message that came in with that was destroying concepts. So I'm just going to stay on the story of this woman who's working somewhere in the US in a diner, even if she's still alive. I don't know how long ago this regression took place, but you know, people coming in and believing that there's something that's going on in their life that has control over them. Well, it's weird I would say that, because that reminds me of almost like the Taurus reading I did yesterday. That would be someone who you would affect. You would destroy their concept of what controls them, or where they have power in their life, or where they don't have power in their life, and recognizing that. And it's like tower moment energy, obviously, like taking down a foundation that was built on something false in the first place, so that then you can rebuild something pure that's lasting. It has the capacity to withstand storms. So there's that. There's like bringing that in. Now, I also feel like on a personal level, a very personal level, that you are preparing for some sort of new life. You are preparing for some sort of new life in terms of what's breaking down within you even. So you are preparing to release something destructive within you, or you were in process of releasing something destructive within you. And this is very pure. I mean, if you're working with source, the universe, it's, and I love this because the volcano, it's how the earth releases the pressure that builds up with the movement that is occurring within itself. And this prepares for new life. The volcano creates all the pressure of what exists inside the earth with the tectonic plates and I don't know, anything else that's going on down in there that causes movement and friction and expansion. And it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And it needs to explode out. And it explodes out and it creates new ground. It may destroy. It is a destroyer. We know lava can destroy. It can destroy all things but a diamond. I read that once. The heat of lava is not strong enough to destroy a diamond. So I'm hearing diamond in the rough. That's really, so polishing yourself, fine-tuning who you're going to be moving forward. How this affects your relationships with people. Vampire, and makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Ooh. Wow. If you're in the shadow with God, if God is what you hide behind, then God does protect you. And God will help you make sure that you understand what is draining you and what is not. What is for you and what is not. It's fine-tuning your capacity. If you are this servant, and you are to remain as a servant of God, of the universe, a servant to humanity, to the growth of humanity, to really do that, then perhaps your focus really is intended to be on those that you will have an impact on. but you cannot have an impact. Your impact cannot be at the cost of your own energy. Otherwise, you could not impact others. Boy, what a deep reading. Advice for you. Angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. So to continue to be the servant. And you know, but I don't think at this point you have to worry about serving others or doing good things for others that are going to take advantage of you or take advantage of that service, because you have this here. So you are understanding what drains your energy and what does not, because you can serve to others and it can actually make you feel really good. It can make you feel really energized because you found your purpose. So the outcome, if you follow the advice, alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. And I see like this God energy is the only card here that is gold. It is golden. Wow. Jesus, Gemini. I don't even know how to keep up with like what this is. This is really beautiful. The diamond in the rough, right? The volcano will not destroy it. It's almost as if it will polish this in you. So the things in your life that are, I do want to say you're making active choices here. You have to be making active choices in this. It really feels like it. An active choice is about things that drain your energy, things that do not drain your energy. I do want to say it's quite important with this sort of card placement, what I'm reading here, that you be hyper aware of what drains your energy, because I do feel like well, all of us are truly meant to be angels to one another, meant to like a true magician energy. So it is above, so be it below. That's exactly what you're doing here. The magician, the Mercury, it is your card. So yes, that's very important, because if energies that are draining your force are in that equation, it is no longer so it is above, so let it be below. Then it becomes reversed, and that's devil energy. That is earthly things trying to dictate how the universe and how the spirit and soul works. And each human being is only a few years old compared to the ancient wisdom of the soul and of the universe. So, oh my goodness. The bottom you have virgin and child nature. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. Friendships with animals, communion with nature spirits. This is so bloody angelic. Hell. Oh, I'm remembering last week. Now I forgot about it. Remember, I stepped into your space and it felt like I had to ask permission. I didn't feel like I needed to do that today. And I'm remembering that now, right? It felt like sacred space. Holy crap. It felt like sacred space. So I felt like I needed to come in and ask permission. So I guess you gave me permission. So wowzer. Was a sacred space. It has become a sacred space. I consider myself honored that I didn't feel I had to ask. It didn't come in like that today. All right, let's go to the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, Gemini. Continue to give from your heart. But don't do it in a way where you know you're giving in a place that is taking your energy. You're You're flirty. So you have Venus in Sagittarius, moving your heart forward. I'm just hearing that, like Venus with love, and Sagittarius is all about movement and higher learning. This is, again, I would say the other energy that comes in with this is service through love. And I think of just the archetype, the deity, the savior, whatever you want to call him, of Jesus. And that, I mean, he washed people's feet. He went into the trenches, and he was with the people that were the most looked down upon, really. The people that were the most looked down upon. And that is what a true servant is. And that is what really the service of God, service of the universe is meant to be. It's always a challenge for humanity to keep that, though. Because of the ego, the human ego. And I would like to think that, you know, there's a reason why this energy moves through different people on the planet at different times in human history. Because it almost is like the human form is not pure. It is not pure. It is a playground of shifting and changing energy and all sorts of wonderful things. And so it is important that so it is above, so be it below. But that can easily get switched. So I do want to say that any of you, any of us that sit in this energy at any given time, it's almost like important to have some sort of practice to remember to be humble, to remember that we are not that who or what we work for. We are the vehicle of it. We are the vehicle for it. My goodness. Holy shit. So you're hiding behind God and status. Or you're hiding your godly status. That's pretty humble. Jupiter in Taurus. You're hiding your godly status. Jesus, Murphy. I don't know what to say about the Gemini readings lately, guys. I'm just honored. I'm really, really just honored. There's really nothing else I can say about that. I mean, who is the true king? The true king or queen is source, is a entity that we are comprised of and come from. So, why you hide your true self? My goodness. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. I want to say I kind of feel like it's probably important to hide aspects of what you're hiding here. I almost feel dizzy with the energy of this reading. Because this is definitely something that others will want. They'll feed off of it. They will feed off of it. Those that are not, that have somehow kind of closed themselves off from energy of source. The energy of source, they do feed off of this type of energy. So you have to be very, very particularly careful. Why you hide your true self? Assertion. The sun in Aries. It's very volcanic. Interesting too, because the Tower card is Mars energy in the tarot. And the tower, like the volcano, feels like the tower is the destroyer. I think you have the capacity actually to, because this is very powerful energy. You could do good things, you could do bad things with it. I think your course here is to do good things, which seems good, seems good for all of us. I do feel like though you are asserting you are being assertive. And that's part of why you're hiding your energy. Because how this affects your relationships, it makes you very, very in tune with anything that's feeding off of you. Energetically, creatively, physically, whatever way that could be coming in. Draining your life force, because your life force is tapped into something pretty profound right now. So you have to assert boundaries. You have to assert boundaries. You have to protect a new life force, perhaps, that you're taking on. Okay, so how this affects your relationships. Resourcefulness. You do need to be resourceful. The Sun in Cancer. So I pulled out my little astrological house cheat sheet again. So one of the things I'm picking up here with the 4th house for Cancer, seclude from rest of world, physical, emotional home. What did I read, right? Closing years of life, ancestors. So this feels like going into, like how this affects your relationships. You're closing off relationships. You're closing off relationships that feed off of your life force, that do not give back to your life force. You are needing to be resourceful, perhaps, in how you do this or how you recognize these energies. I think of Cancer, and I think of very empathic as well. And I think of the soft gooiness inside and that hard outer shell to protect all that emotional depth. You're protecting emotional depth here. Oh, I think of this, like the crow cannot get to the water. If there's water in this vessel, and let's say it's down here, the crow can't get to it. If it's a vessel of water that you need, that you're tapping into, the resourcefulness of finding the stones that will fit through the opening to bring the level of water up so that you can drink from this. So on some level, perhaps needing to, there's energies that have been feeding off of your life force, and you need to be resourceful in a way to reclaim that life force. Your advice is to be angelic, helping those in need with no expectation of return. And I think this is advice follows the, so this is where like the discernment part comes in for y'all. Because there's going to be people, and probably most of you are going to resonate with what's being said here and feeling like, yes, I know I can serve humanity. I can be there for my friends. I can be there for people that I run into. I can be there for people in my work. Because you understand and you recognize it. And you've really fine-tuned what's pulling from your energy and what is giving you energy. Like, giving it to you, not you trying to take it. It's just given to you because it's almost like a 2 of Cups energy when you're interacting with people. So, but then there's others, the discernment here is if you're still in a state where a lot of people have taken from you and you're suffering from that, your energy is depleted, your hope is depleted. This is not your advice. If anything, I mean, because that's not what's showing here. It's just when I say, like, to know that a reading is for you, you can, if you're in this place where you're saying, there's no way, Cindy, there's no way, Spirit, that I'm going to help those in need with no expectation of return because nobody's given anything to me. See those things in comments, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just discerning and knowing that this reading is for you if you feel like you can't give this in the future. It's kind of showing you where you will go. You're learning. And the only way to learn about what steals your life force and what doesn't is to experience it. You can't read it in a book. You have to live it and experience it. Once you've done that, then you know, and then you're ready. And believe me, it will be very, very rewarding. It will feel amazing. So, what is this advice? Wow, companionship. The moon in Libra. Justice. You don't know where you're going to find the justice. Just see that with the moon in Libra. Yeah, with companionship. So finding true companionship, and the true companionship are people and places and things that do not drain your life force. I do feel like the universe is telling you that you have the capacity to move forward, maybe into some new avenue in life, some new experiences, and give of yourself. This also has a feeling of like charity work, sort of, doesn't it? Like with the servant and helping those in need with no expectation of return. And you will find true companionship here. And yeah, there'll probably be energies and people there that will want to vampire you, but you'll recognize them right away. There won't be a problem. So outcome if you follow the advice. Alchemist. Acquisition. Oh my goodness, what is this? Now you have the sun in Taurus, and here, right, with God you had Jupiter in Taurus. Oh, there's the companionship, really. This is almost like acquiring the companionship. And it feels like it's linked to this. You're being guided by God. That's what I would say here. You may even look like to people around you don't know what the hell you're doing. Why is Gemini doing that? Why is Gemini taking that course of action right now? What's going on with Gemini? I tell you, you're being guided by God, and that's all you need to answer for or answer to. This is transformative. So alchemist with acquisition, and we're talking about companionship, relationships that don't drain your life force. This feels almost like two diamonds in the rough. So transforming all of your base motives and goals. So this is also you, because preparing for new life. This is alchemy. And it is almost as if burning away, washing away what your base motives were before. What was your motivation for reaching whatever goals you had in the past? If they weren't of the best intention for yourself and others, you were still working through things. There was nothing wrong with it. But at this point, it feels like you've reached some sort of higher knowing, higher understanding of yourself, and you've connected to God's source. And in that connection, you are really understanding how to reach goals and have divine golden wisdom and apply it. At the bottom, idealism. The sun in Aquarius. You have a lot of sun cards. Actually, shit me. You have the sun in Aries, the sun in Cancer, the sun in Taurus, and the sun in Aquarius. Wow. That's like being able to see things and understand them from almost any perspective. Oh my goodness. I don't know if the tarot is really going to add much to this, but I'm going to try one for each spot here. Really are. The Page of Wands, there is a sense of innocence with that, an innocent communicator. Yeah, oh gosh, going back to the God and the status energy, even you are perhaps a communicator of God, of universe, of source. We all really are angels to each other, but I feel like you are acting in a way that is not necessarily, because people can come into your life that can be very difficult, and then they can rob you of your life force energy. But really, we're all working in divinity. Every single thing that has a soul and existence has come from source. It's just displaying in different ways. But I feel like yours is almost reaching out to those in need. Those in need do not necessarily need to have their buttons pushed. Those in need may just need to feel like they're okay and they're safe. I mean, we've all been there. So when someone comes in and helps you with that in your life, that is very angelic. And I feel like that's kind of like who you are right now. You have the Four of Wands. God, you are married to God. I don't know what to say to that. This is really pure energy. This is really, really pure energy. It literally just feels like married to God, married to Source. But I see a humbleness here. So, you know, this is not a person who thinks they have all their wealth and status and yeah, because they have an expensive car, they have a great paying job, or because this is kind of like what's all hidden. Okay, so why you hide your true self though? There is it's almost like God is transforming you. The universe is transforming you. So yeah, you're protecting this. The Eight of Wands. Whew. It's just like looking at this energy. This is very explosive. This is all fire. This is born of the fire. Fire, fire, fire. You know, I kind of feel like part of the reason why you protect yourself is also to protect, or no, why you hide yourself right now, or like why you're hiding behind this is because this is very powerful energy. There could be like really intense karma for anyone that kind of comes at you the wrong way right now. And I feel like maybe, I don't even know if you're consciously aware of it, but subconsciously at least, I think you're aware of it. And you're trying to give people the space to not, just crazy energy crap. How this affects your relationships, right? You have the Vampire, resourcefulness, the Page of Pentacles, innocent learning, very innocent, very studious learning. You're learning about relationship. You're learning about others. You're starting from the beginning with these pages. Like who you really are as a Page of Wands. How this affects your relationships, the Page of Pentacles. Preparing for new life, right? This is almost like something that is born. It's almost like yin and yang. The yin and yang of the divine is birthing something new in you. The yin and yang of divine is birthing something new in you. This also feels like because you've learned something with this vampire energy and how to be resourceful, you've learned how to step forward. So stepping forward in relationship, very innocent. No expectation. You know, this is funny because this reminds me, this part here now reminds me of the Aries reading. Yeah, the detective work in being able to apply this and learn with like new information that you've acquired through life and experience, and stepping forward as the student of life with this tool in your belt. The advice for you is to be this angel, find companionship, the world, the cycle to end all cycles, the cycle of the cycle, the cycle. This just feels like a big cycle. A very big cycle. You know, it's curious because there's 4 people in this card here. And then we have the 4 zodiac energy elements around here that are about, these are the fixed signs that sit in here. I've done this before, but I never, oh, here, do I have it on this card? No, I don't have it. What's the card? I can't remember. I know Leo is fixed. Aquarius is fixed. Leo is fixed. A Taurus is fixed. Yeah, because Capricorn is a cardinal. I hope I'm getting this right. What's the water sign that's fixed? Is it Cancer? No, they seem really mutable. I don't know. No, yeah, maybe. Anyways, so don't. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? No. Okay, no, that's Aries. I'm like, these are not the sun signs that came out in this reading, are they? You do have Taurus, you have Aquarius, you have Cancer, but you have Aries instead of... That would have been really freaky, guys. Freaked me the crap out. Holy crap. I feel like you're going into an energy. So the advice for you is to go into an energy of all four elements. This is Emperor, Empress energy. It kind of feels like that. It feels like Emperor, Empress energy. Being an Emperor and Empress of service to others. Now, I'm also getting a message about 4 significant people in your life. There is about to be 4 significant people in your life, companions of some sort. Whether that's like meeting one person, which leads to meeting maybe people they're related to, or people they work with, or people they're friends with. But there's something here. There's 4 significant, and you are the one in the middle. There's 4 significant people here, and you will be the one in the middle. I don't know what that's about. Outcome if you follow the advice. Whoa. You have the 9 of Pentacles. You will be looked after. You will be looked after. You will be protected. You will have your sovereignty. It's interesting, this acquisition, though. Let me read that to you, the Sun in Taurus, because it really feels like something to do with this companionship. And I've seen it as I've been doing the reading. At the bottom, you have the Lovers. There's your card at the bottom. Page of Swords, another page. The Queen of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and Justice, and the 2 of Swords. Wow. It's like you're deliberating with the universe here. Watching for a new beginning. Curious about your new beginning. Okay, let me just read this acquisition, this Sun in Taurus. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read the events that could be around and when the card comes out for you. Okay, the events. Those involving pleasure, artistic encouragement, or expansive indulgence. Resistance to change, a dispute over possessions, discovery of something of value, a win, gift, or a surprise receipt of money. Well then, I do want to say, I mean, your needs will be looked after when you are in service to the universe. So that's kind of a given, but maybe it's not. Most don't know, but yeah, I can see that there. In a reading, this card shows a strong desire to achieve financial independence and often indicates the ability to amass a comfortable amount of money. The danger when this card appears is that a natural love for life's pleasures will express itself in greed, over lavish behavior, and ostentation. The card also indicates a need to hold on to possessions and may indicate a challenge to ownership. Wow, that's really interesting. Alchemist. Woo! But you're alchemizing. So I do want to say, if in the past you had your intention, your base motives for things were to be golden, to have status, to have these things, if that was your base motive, you are transforming it. Your base motive seems much, much more spiritual, and you are being guided to continue on a much more spiritual path here. Wow. Well, there you go. I don't even know what to call this one, Gemini. I don't even know. I'm going to go do the extended. And the extended, I'm going to use tarot and oracle cards. I'm going to ask how you can improve the relationships that you have with people around you. What your inner child will tell you about what you're hiding behind, or what you hide. And then how you can really release your true potential. So thank you so much, Gem. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.